I'm watching something called Normal People. Normal People, I got engaged fully. Watched 2 seasons?
1 season.
I watched, how many shows?
12 episodes.
I watched 12 episodes, and at the end of it, I was thinking, you know, this guy could be it, and that was it. So it began. It's been 25 years since Gladiator 1. There's an excitement coming back to the Roman Empire.
Thank you.
Where are you, Jimmy? Where are you?
Good. I'm in Los Angeles.
Okay, right. Okay.
First of all, Ridley, glad to see you back in Gladiator territory. What was it, the appeal of returning now and bringing this guy on?
There's 2 answers there. One, Gladiator 1 would not go away. It kept running. I think you can thank the global platforms for Gladiator to perpetuate itself. And so eventually it became obvious we better make Gladiator 2. Once you're on Gladiator 2, who on earth's going to fulfill and go into the shoes of what once was Maximus, Russell Crowe? And when I'm refining the material, I'm watching something called Normal People. Normal People, I got engaged fully. Watched 2 seasons?
1 season.
I watched, how many shows?
12 episodes.
I watched 12 episodes, and at the end of it, I was thinking, you know, this guy could be it, and that was it. So it began. No one asked, no one objects. I said, that's it. And I tend to work that way. And they accept that because good choice. Wasn't it a good choice?
Oh, yeah. Well, I gotta say too, Normal People is amazing. It's one of my favorite shows. Paul, this is a bit different from something you've done and what you've done in the past. What were you afraid of jumping into this?
Ridley very quickly said that my fear was useless to him, so I threw that out the window as quickly as I could. Publicly, privately, of course, it still exists because you are working with a great that I've long admired. So you're in a position of high stress, high pressure, but ultimately that's when good work happens. It's like when the stakes are high. So there's a trepidation that comes with upholding a legacy of a film, but then there's also the mechanics of making a new film and a new character, and that's familiar to me. It's yeah, I'm like new to this, but I've also gone to drama school for 3 years and been in the industry for 5. So it's a step up, but it's not completely unfamiliar to me.
It's a bloody fast step up, isn't it? Right?
Yes, it sure is.
And I think it's always best to be on thin ice.
Yeah, I agree.
How do you mean? I like that.
Well, and when you're on thin ice, you're not cautious.
Yeah.
But you are not quite at ease, and I like that. There's a freshness to be not being at ease.
Yeah.
Nice. Ridley, and the story too, it feels so relevant. I mean, in this day and age, and I know we gotta cut it out, but I cut it short. But I appreciate both of you. This is a really terrific sequel.
You've got the Roman Empire had a forever war for 1,000 years. Mm. Right, and we're facing forever war in Middle Europe right now if we don't watch it.
Yeah.
It is an art, choosing gladiators. They're usually prisoners of war.
I claim this city for the glory of Rome.
I guess the first thing I want to talk about with you is you've had a history, obviously a successful history with Mr. Ridley Scott. How has that grown going into this feature and taking on this character?
Ridley calls, I answer. You know, yeah, it was as simple as that. I mean, we had, you know, I made 5 films with his brother. Yeah. He had great success together with American Gangster. And I forgot exactly how it went, whether he called me or through the agents or whatever, but, you know, it's Ridley Scott, and I read the script, and when you need me.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
This is such a, I mean, it's such a surprising thing. It's a film I think we've you know, we're seeing a lot of sequels to films that we never expected to. What did you appreciate about this character? This is a really great character for you.
Thank you. You know, and yeah, I guess it's what, 24, 25 years since the first one. So there's a whole generation, a new generation or two that don't know the first one.
That's true.
So, yeah, yeah. But you know, it just his lust for power, talking about the character, the lust for power and control and domination and all those things. But really, Paul, obviously, Paul is the one who had to do the heavy lifting. I just sat up in the bleachers.
Now, you can't say that completely. You get in on the action a little bit, Denzel.
A little bit, yeah. You know, I can't give it away. Can't give it away. I do my best.
You have a little fun here. What kind of world are we living in? Because obviously, you know, when the first film came out, there was probably technology's gotten a little bit better since then, 25 years, 24 years. What was it like? How much of this was practical? How much of this was kind of just, you know, digitally created?
Well, what we're seeing in the Colosseum, on the Colosseum floor, a lot of that was, you know, digitally created. I mean, I never saw the water in the Colosseum and all those kind of things. And the rhinoceros were kind of wonky when I saw them, but you know, that's the part of what Ridley does. It's part of his genius.
This is obviously there's a historical, you know, landscape that's explored here as well. Do you go in playing a role like this? You go, okay, well, I want to go into the history of it. I want to know what happened in that time, and that helps me as an actor. Do you do that, or do you rely heavily on the script with this kind of thing?
The script. I mean, I didn't want to be reminded of the first film. You know, I obviously wasn't in it. Yeah, and I just started with this script, and it was enough. You know, and I had total trust in Ridley, needless to say, but he built Rome. I mean, you put the clothes on and walk around, you were in Rome. I mean, it's just amazing. And he shot the film in 51 days with multiple, I don't know, 10, 15 camera crews, and you never felt, I had the freedom. What you see from my performance anyway is I had space to have fun.
Wow. Well, yeah, you could see. I mean, it is a phenomenal performance. I mean, it just seems like you and especially Paul had a really great relationship here.
Yeah.
It works so well.
I own you now. But whose head could I give you to satisfy your fury?
The general will do. Rome has taken everything from me. But I will have my vengeance.
Connie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I feel like you're so perfect in these movies all the time. I love seeing you in this element, and you're the one connection, really, besides Ridley. What was it like? And what was your reaction when he said, yeah, we're doing it again?
I was scared at first. I was very skeptical. Were they going to be able to really make a story that is as complex and compelling as the first one? And then I was just so excited once I saw what he was going to do. And we had like these great conversations about where we were going to go with the character. And I was just really so excited to get started on her. And then I also was excited about getting into the process with Ridley, you know, where, you know, you do your homework and you bring everything that you've got inside of your heart and soul, you bring it to set every morning and you throw it at him and he goes, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And then you just go in there and you make the scenes and it's fireworks and it's fun.
It must be nice too, because you obviously, this character was amazing in the first film. You're getting to return and build her again with all you already took on. What are you most excited that you could kind of bring her into the light today?
I would say the fact that I get to show her as a fully grown woman, a woman who has this dual like situation. On one side, she, unlike in the first movie, she has the love of an extraordinary man, a beautiful romantic relationship. And at the same time, she has been tested by life. She has lost her son and she is heartbroken, and she's had to watch the empire crumble over 20 years of mismanagement and see it turn into a sewer, an actual sewer. And what it must feel for the daughter of Marcus Aurelius to watch the actual opposite of his values ascend through just corruption and mismanagement is, and the complete loss of the checks and balances of government. And it's extraordinary for me as an actor to work those experiences into that one character. It was unique.
Well, and it's such a timely subject too. I mean, there's so much, it's a crazy time as it is. So to kind of deal with that in film is kind of a satisfying way to do it, right?
Well, it's one of the things I love about filmmaking is that we get to speak to a lot of the subconscious things that we are living through in our real lives as well.
I have the trust of the emperors. It will clear my path to the throne. You will be my instrument.
I will never be your instrument in this life or the next.
Good to see you, Jimmy.
It's good seeing you, man. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Yeah, how are you?
Good. It doesn't seem like a long time. It wasn't, I guess, with Thelma,
It got to be 4 or 5 months ago, maybe?
Yeah, well, it's great to see you again. And geez, dude, this is different.
Yeah.
My God.
I've been saying Caracalla would have been a lot better off if he had a grandmother like Thelma. It would, she could have done a lot for him.
Right.
Yeah.
But God, what meat to work with. It's delicious. Like, it's like this, there's a lot of stuff to go with. How did you get involved?
So I got this phone call when I driving, car in LA. My agent is connected through the phone, through the car, and I had heard it was a possibility, but it's the kind of thing that you just, you don't really think you're gonna get to be in a Ridley Scott film. You can get to be in Gladiator too, And I remember I heard the news, the opportunity, and I had to pull the car over, park it, sit down. I just sat there for 20, 30 minutes. I just could not believe it. It's the kind of news where it feels like the earth just opened under you. It's it's wild, totally wild.
And how, I mean, because obviously this is a real person that lived that you're kind of taking on. How much do you kind of take from that? But how much is in the script? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah. I mean, big aspects of the script are inspired by the real history and information, and then some things take liberty. I always say for the preparation period, I look at everything, open up your research aperture and just let it all. Don't discriminate against any kind of research, influence, inspiration, and then gradually as you get closer and closer to, you make those choices. You see what really is getting to the meat of the person, getting to the heart of the story, really serving this narrative. So I looked at everything, and the influences were kind of wide ranging, but as we got closer, it gets more precise.
Well, and you and Joseph have just it's so fun to watch. What was that like to work with him?
I loved building with him. I felt like we were an old vaudevillian couple, we were kind of had this double act together, and then at the same time we both had these secrets and this independence, and it was very much about having a relationship that was both codependent and competitive at the same time.
That's got to be really interesting as an actor, I would think.
Yeah. The other amazing thing is I would work with Joe, we would build it together in some ways, And then still he's such a beautiful performer that by the time we were doing the scenes, he would surprise me 100 different ways as well. He's such a inspired and lively actor that I feel like he can't help but surprise you, which is what you want. I think you always you're just waiting for people to continue to surprise you. It's such a joy.
Lucius, take your father's strength. His name was Maximus, and I see him in you.